Good morning, everyone. My name is Julie. I am the owner and founder of Lady Faulty. You're either watching this video on my Facebook group or my YouTube channel, which are both called Lady Faulty's Light Healing. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Yule. I did a video last year around the same time about Yule, so some of this may be repeated, so I apologize for that. I tried to switch it up a little bit and talk about some stuff that's a little different, but some of it may be repeat. But that's okay, because it's always good to go back and cover things again and freshen our memories. But before we get started, we're going to do our normal morning stuff. We're going to get our candle lit and smudge a little bit and pick a card, and then we will talk about Yule. Candle light. So, burning my healing candle, as you can see, I've burned it almost all the way down. I really like this candle. I like all my candles, but that one I like. All right, and we're going to smudge a little bit here real quick. And those of you who have watched my videos have heard me say this a million times, but say it again. Smudging should be a very important practice for you. It doesn't want to go. Come on. Besides spiritual reasons, morning, Jen. Besides spiritual reasons, smudging is proven to clear out the negative energy in your home. It is also antibacterial. So there are lots of good reasons to smudge besides just the spirituality. So if you don't believe in anything I'm talking about or anything like that, you would still want to burn that sage, and for the antibacterial reasons alone. But it does clear out the negative energy in your home. Scientifically, it kills off positive ions that cause negative energy, and it promotes negative ions, which causes positive energy in your home. I know it's backwards, so I just have to make sure I'm saying that correctly. And a little bit of Palo Santos real quick. My candle, the thing now, it's burned down so far I can't. I'm having a hard time getting my stuff lit because the flame is so far down in the jar. Sorry, apparently I did not turn the sound off on my phone. So a little Palo Santos for you. I love the smell of it. It smells amazing. Although I seem to be all stuffed up this morning, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But I can still smell it. It smells amazing. All right, so we're going to pull a card real quick, and then we will start talking about Yule. Last week we pulled a sapphire. So I'm going to put that back in the deck and go ahead and pull a new card for us for this week. I was looking at my calendar earlier. Now I forgot what it was. And so we'll do a live on Thursday, but not on Tuesday because that is Christmas Eve. So I won't be doing a video that day. I may come to you on the 26th, but we'll see. I may take the day off. I don't know. We'll see. And then we'll definitely do one on the 31st. So we have a couple left before the New Year. And that's when I'm going to change things up a little bit. Instead of doing 2 live videos in Tuesday and Thursday, my plan is on Mondays to come to you for a 15 or 20 minute video. That's going to cover anything astrological that's going on for the week that you should know about. And then on Thursday, I'm going to do a video that is probably going to be about 40 minutes, 45 minutes is what I'm going to hope to keep it to. But if any of you guys watch my videos, you know I tend to kind of go off on side notes here and side stories and don't always stick to my timeline. But I'm going to try to keep it to 40, 45 minutes. And we're going to either do a craft or a ritual or talk about what you need to do that. So instead of just going back over, like again, like I did a video last year on Yule, and now I'm doing a video again this year on Yule, you know, so I don't want to do that again 3 years in a row. But I did kind of want to finish out this year with the same format as I started January with. My video started back in like August, so I didn't really have a game plan, so to speak, when I started them. I just started talking about whatever I felt like talking about. But yeah, I don't want to do like a third year of the same stuff. So next year at Yule, we might be actually talking about crafting a Yule log, or, you know, I don't know exactly, or a ritual for Yule, making some sort of craft. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but so instead of just talking about Yule and the origins and where it came from and all that, I'm gonna pick something to do, whether a ritual or craft or something. And so we have picked lapis lazulite. I'm pretty sure I have one in here. My grandkids like to get in and play with these, so they're not always where I left them when I go to find them. So I have a beautiful little palm stone of lapis lazuli here. So I'm going to put that in my pocket for today. Actually, you know what? Down the bra it goes. There it goes. All right, so lapis. So, because I'm blind, it goes to your third eye chakra. It is for insight, honesty, and regality. Lapis lazuli brings good fortune, luck, and a regal sensibility, invoking your inner queen or king. You have pulled this card because you need a reminder to walk with your head held high in body, mind, and spirit. Meditate with lapis lazuli to invoke a spirit of confidence, to connect deeply to your past lives, and to speak your truth with assurance. So that is our stone for this week. Let me take pictures real quick. I'll get those up on the group site. Looks very purpley in the picture, but it's not really all that purple, but that's okay. So I have taken that picture and I will get that up on the group site for us. Put the rest of my cards back. I like to take good care of my cards, not leave them out lying around. Especially when, like I said, I have grandkids who come and they want to touch all of Mimi's stuff. I want to move all my stuff and touch everything, which I don't mind. But like I said, sometimes it's not where I left it. All right, so we've got that up on the group. I'll get that up on the group page. But anyway, today we're going to talk about Yule. And again, I did a video last year, probably a couple videos last year on Yule. So I don't think I'll cover anything that is super new, but seeing the holiday itself is old as hell, I don't think I'll come up with anything probably too new for it. But Yule is celebrated for 11 days. This year it starts on Sunday, December 22nd and goes through to January 2nd. It is celebrated, it's a pagan holiday, mostly celebrated by the Germans and the Nordic. So they still really celebrate Yule, like more of the original version of Yule is where you'll find those being celebrated. But it is a follows the wheel of the year, and I've posted pictures of that before, but I will post a picture again after the video is done. Probably when I get to work, I'll pop in and post a picture of the wheel of the year for you so you can see what that is if you haven't seen it before. It's very simple. It's a wheel that just follows the seasons and the holidays of the pagan traditions. And but even outside of the pagan traditions, this time of year is celebrated all over the world. Whether it's we talked about a couple of different holidays last year, but obviously there's Hanukkah, and there's Christmas, and then there's Yule. But all over the world there are lots of different holidays, and most of them I can't pronounce for you, so I'm not even going to try. It would be an insult if I tried. But they all come back to the same origin, basically, is that it is the time of the returning of the sun. It's the change of the seasons. It's, Yule, winter solstice, is the longest night. And then after that, the days start to get longer. So it's a big festive holiday for the pagans, who, again, their whole life was around their crops and their livestock. And those go by the sun. So, the sun coming back is meaning, the time for planting, the time, their livestock was going to be conceiving. So it was definitely something that was very, very important for them, is for the sun to come back. So they did honor a sun god, S-U-N, God, and they felt that this sun god was reborn every year at this time, so that the sun basically has a year lifespan. And we've talked about this before, about spring, being like a gestation period, summer, being the life period, autumn is kind of the dying period, and then so on. And the sun follows that as well. And obviously that's where all that comes from. So it's actually, those follow the sun, but you know what I mean. And so they believe that every year the sun was reborn. Sounds very typical to, not typical, very similar to the Christmas holiday, where the Son was born, Jesus Christ. So those traditions kind of tie in together right there for you. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm so stuffed up this morning. So it's the rebirth of the sun. We talked about the longest year. It's also a time where I think, we talk about Samhain, and we talk about where the veil is the thinnest, and you can kind of cross over during that time. But I really think that our ancestors are with us all the time. It just looks a little bit different. But I think at Yule time, too, the ancestors are really here with us. And they're kind of giving us that guidance and of new beginnings for ourselves as well. So whether you want to call it your inner voice or your intuition, or whether you have some sort of medium and you are actually communicating with the ancestors in some way, or whether it's your higher self, whatever that kind of looks like for you, this time of year is a really good time of year, in my opinion, to kind of really follow that that intuition that's kind of guiding you. We talked a while back about picking something over the winter to kind of give birth to in the spring. So we talked about picking something that you really wanted to make happen or give birth to, create, whatever, however you want to call it, and to kind of take this winter to prepare for that. And again, I think, it all really does go together very smoothly. I worded that perfectly. Yeah, usually my wording is not always the best. I kind of stumble on words sometimes, but thank you, Jennifer. It does all tie together, and I really think, it's a time to really follow your intuition and be getting yourself ready to really rebirth or give birth to whatever that is for you. Doesn't necessarily have to be babies. It can be anything that you want to create. Or maybe it's something that you started and never really finished. I am really bad at that. I get very gung-ho about projects and jump right in, and then I get partway through and then I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this. That's the Sagittarius part of me. But so you might want to go back and finish something that you really wanted to finish. So again, take this time, January, February, March to prepare yourself for whatever it is you really want to be giving birth to this spring, so to speak. But anyway, back to Yule. I really think the ancestors are with us here. And so if you're feeling that little nudge or that need or that inner voice, yeah, I did. And so if you really, really hear that or feel that, pay attention to it. It's a big thing for me. We all have those little thoughts that pop up in our head. We don't really know why they're there or where they come from. And sometimes they seem a little crazy, but to me, that is your spirit guide sending you a little message that you need to do something. And so really listen to those little thoughts and those little things that just pop into your head for no reason, and really pay attention and kind of sit and think about what those mean for you. So anyway, back to Yule again. So we were talking about the different, all over the world has these same traditions. They just look a little bit different. They might be celebrated a little bit different, but they do all really come back to it is, the longest night, and then the return of the sun is really where all of those traditions, even Christmas, comes back to that. So even though we're all over the world and we're all celebrating things a little differently, our beliefs might be a little bit different, but really we are all celebrating and honoring the same thing. So even though we're different, we're the same. All right. So yeah, so I kind of already covered the whole, the sun coming back is the time, oh, the dog is moving. It's the time to conceive, to create, to rebirth. So whatever that's going to look like for you could be very different for different people, but just really think about what it is that you really want to be doing. And again, if you've got that little voice in your head that has spit out some crazy idea, stop and listen to it, pay attention to it. And it may not be exactly what you think it is. It might be your own little twist on it, but think about what that really is. So yeah, I guess I went through that pretty quickly. I guess I didn't really write enough notes, but did want to just talk real quick about the Yule log. I posted a picture. I'm pretty sure I posted a picture. If not, I'll go back and post it, of my Yule log. Made it myself. Actually, I didn't really make it myself. But, my husband took a log and cut it for me and drilled 4 holes in it for the candles to sit in. And then I did it from there. I decorated it. And so it was easy stuff I took from the dollar store. and some hot glue and some candles. And so you can make a Yule log. Traditionally, a Yule log was burned on the winter solstice, and it was a kind of a reminder, honoring that, you know, from light comes dark, from dark comes light, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I got a new tattoo and it's kind of itchy. Try not to itch it. And of course, you know, pagans, we've talked about this before, they love anything where they can have a festival for. So, you know, they love a good party. So, yeah, they would burn their Yule log, and then they would have a meal, and they would exchange handmade gifts. You know, they didn't have Walmart, they didn't have Amazon back then, so it was handmade gifts that they would exchange. And, you know, it was with love, with thought. Not to say that Christmas isn't that way now, but I don't think it necessarily is that way for everybody. It's been very commercialized, and I am guilty of, I want to give everybody a gift, and I usually spend way too much money and go broke at the holidays. But I do love to give gifts. I love to see people's faces when they open gifts. Not everybody's a gift giver, but I love to give gifts. And yeah, so I usually put myself in a tight spot this year, but to me it's all worth it because I love seeing the kids' faces and stuff when they open their presents, and they're so excited and thrilled. So, but it can be commercialized. So take my own words here for medicine is don't go overboard if you don't have to. I do, but I do it from a place where I know next month I'm just going to buckle down and I'll be fine. I don't put myself into a situation where I can't easily come back from. Like, I spend a little bit more this time of year, but you know, I'll just buckle down and not do quite so much shopping for myself next month. The crystals may have to wait a month. But anyway, it is very commercialized. So, you know, and some of us really do love giving gifts, but it really is the thought of the gift. Just a side note here quick. I was listening to the radio, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about whether, and I might have already talked about this, so I apologize. They talked about whether getting a gift card was an acceptable Christmas present. And my first thought was, yes, it is, because whoever that was that got you that gift card didn't have to get you anything at all. So some people are like, oh, it wasn't very thoughtful, or there wasn't a lot of time or effort put into it. But if it's a gift card, like if you know that's like, if it's for my favorite restaurant, or for if it was a gift card for Sage Goddess, I'd be thrilled, you know. So just because it's a gift card doesn't mean that there wasn't time and effort and thought put into it. But anyway, my point is, if you get a gift, even if it's like bright yellow socks with pink stripes or something, I don't know, somebody took time to get a gift for you. Whether they put 5 minutes into it or an hour into it, they took time to get you a gift, and they wanted to give you a gift. So you should be thankful that you got a gift. It doesn't matter what it was, you know, even if it's the ugly sweater. Somebody took time out of their day to think about you and get you a gift. So be thankful for any gift that you get from anyone. Sorry, that was a little sidebar there. Just my opinion. So we just really talked quick about the Yule log, about where that came from, that tradition. I don't burn mine because I don't have a real fireplace. My fireplace is right beside me, but it's a some sort of fancy electrical thingy that you don't actually burn any wood in it. And the other thing, going back to gifts, the handmade gifts, I wanted to mention real quick that the tradition of the stockings. So, and I'm sure I talked about this last year as well, but I really wanted to touch base on it again because I really like this part. I don't know why, just I really do like this part. I don't have a specific reason why, but I just do. So back during the pagan time, they I say pagan time like it's all pagan time, but it's like Miller time. It's all pagan time, but the origin, farther back, when it first originated, the children would hang their socks on the fireplace to dry. They would be out, doing their chores or whatever during the day, and at bedtime they would hang their socks up to dry. They didn't go put them in the washer and dryer. They didn't have the maid take care of them. And the story goes that Odin, and if you've ever seen a picture of Odin, he usually has a very long white beard. He would ride his horse, and I probably will not say his name correctly either, but I believe it's Sleipnir. Sleipnir. It's Sleipnir, if you want to look it up. Would ride his flying 8-legged horse and drop little gifts in the kids' stockings for them. So if you ever wanted to know where the idea of hanging a Christmas stocking on your fireplace came from, that is where that came from. I always loved doing the stockings with the kids, like when my kids were little and they were home. In the morning, it was a time where before all the real craziness started of opening presents, we would take 15-20 minutes where I would sit and have my coffee and the kids would open their stockings. And it doesn't sound like much, but to me it was a time where just the little simple things in their stocking made them super happy. And then all the craziness would start with wrapping paper everywhere and toys and boxes and things going flying. But I always loved the stocking part, so maybe that's why I love the little story of Odin putting little gifts in kids' socks that were hanging by the fireplace to dry. So that's pretty much it for today. I will be back on Thursday. Not really sure what we're going to talk about yet. We've finished up all the zodiac signs, so we're good on that. Like I said, next year we're going to talk about the chakras. So in January, we're going to start with the Earth chakra. And again, until I really have time to kind of dig down in, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to look like yet. It'll probably be a learning process. So January and February might be kind of the experimental months to figure out what we want to do for the rest of the year. But everything's a work in progress. And I'm always willing to change things up if they're not working. So anyway, I hope everybody has a really great day. I would much rather stay home and talk with you guys than go to work. But the funny thing is I have bills to pay, and muggles want money for everything. So, yeah. So I hope you have a really great day. And like I said, if you get a gift, it doesn't matter what the gift is. Obviously we want to receive a gift that we really like. We want to receive a gift that we will actually use. And sometimes it's a little disappointing when we get something that is like totally not us. But again, just try to remember that somebody took time out of their day to think about you and buy you something. So maybe that will be a little bit more meaningful than the gift itself, but just generally express the gratitude of receiving, whether it may not be receiving the gift itself, but you can always just be grateful that the person thought about you and got you a gift. So anyway, that's it for today. Like I said, I'll be back on Thursday, and then after Thursday, it'll be at least till the next Thursday, because I won't come live Christmas Eve. So, yeah. So I will see you guys all in a couple of days. And remember to be kind. Your kindness not only will change your day, but it could change somebody else's day and potentially could change somebody else's life. So just remember, your kind words could make a huge impact on somebody. So thank you. Lots of love. Bye, guys.